Hey everyone, in this video we will cover the SQL select statement basics, and we'll go through a few examples just to make this clearer. So what's a SQL select statement? So the primary purpose of a select statement is to retrieve data from database. So when you save data in tables in database, you want to retrieve them maybe for, you just want to read through the data, or you want to use it in an application, you will fire a select statement, or the application will fire the select statement under the hood. The basic syntax you can see is select. So you have select in uppercase, then the column name, so column 1, column 2, so it could be multiple columns, and then from, and then you specify the table from which you want to retrieve the data. So this will become clear as we go through some of the examples in the DVD rentals database. In case you don't have the DVD rentals database, look at the previous videos in the series to look at how to set up DVD rental database and how to set up pgadmin. Now select indicates that you're retrieving data. From specifies the table name, and obviously you've got the column name, so column names also you specify. Where is optional, where you can use it to filter the data, and we'll dig into it in later videos. You can sort your data in a certain order, maybe for the sake of example by calendar year, and then you can limit the data. So let's say you don't want 100 records, you just want 10 records or top 3 records, so you can limit the data. So that's another option that's available. So that's how a typical statement, SQL select statement works, and we'll quickly go through a few examples, and that should make things clearer. We'll use the pgadmin GUI to retrieve our first SQL select statement, and then we'll try to modify and tweak it. So let's exit out of this, and I'll open pgadmin. And you can see I've got the servers in Postgres demo, I've got a DVD rental database. So I open that, and here you can see it shows me the schemas, and I've got a public schema. And if I go down in these schemas into tables, it shows me what are the various tables which are available in the DVD rentals database. So I can right click this, and then, so when I right click, it gives me multiple options, and I'll keep going down, and I'll hit scripts, and here I'll say select script. And when I do that, what it does is it gives me the select statement. So it's giving me this, but this is not how I want it. So I'm just going to back out of this. Don't save this one either. So right click, and then we'll say script and select script. And I'll just go to the query. So I don't want to, we'll talk about query history, but we'll go to this. So essentially when we did this right click, and then we went to scripts, select, it gives us this query. So it says select actor ID, first name, and last update from. So the table name is actor, the schema name is public actor. We already had the database selected, so we don't have to specify it. Now if I, this arrow diagram, if I click on it, it shows me this. These are like the components of a table. So there are indexes, constraints. We are not looking at other things except the columns. So it has 4 columns: actor ID, first name, and last update. And it ends it with a semicolon. So you can see that all the objects are in lowercase, and the select and from are in uppercase. So it's not a requirement. You could probably say select, and that would work for you as well, but it's for the sake of readability. You normally go like this. So now you could press F5, or you could just execute the script from here, and it retrieves the data for us. So now let's say I can also, there's another way I can retrieve all the columns. So I'll just Control X, so remove this, and I'll just replace it with star. And if I run this, it will show me, get me the same data set again. And you can see it's getting the same data set. So if you wanted all the columns in the table, you could use star instead of using all of these. Now I'll again select this. Now let's say you don't want the last update date, so you can remove that, and it will only, and then you have to remove the comma after last name also, and then you select this, so it'll get you 3. Similarly, let's say you didn't want the first name also, you just want the actor ID and the last name. So you just select the columns that you want, and then you can also add first name. So, and there's no specific order. You can specify the order by changing the column names around. So if I've got this now, you can see first name, so I can bring the last name out as well. So every column has to be such, their comma is a delimiter, or it tells us that go to the next column name. So I'll just copy this, and then I need a comma again to say the next column is this actor ID. So now if I hit this again, you can see that I can get the data. So this is how a simple select statement works. So you can start playing around with this. You can also, let's say you executed multiple SQL statements. So you go to query history and you can retrieve the older queries. So let's say I've run this query. It shows me this is my query before that. And then we ran the select star from public actor. So I can also say copy to query editor and it brings that here. So I can run that, or I can directly just copy that and then just come back here. So let's say I go here and I say copy. Then I go back to my query editor and I'll just delete this and use this. So it keeps a track, or it keeps a record of all the queries that you've executed. So in case you want to go to a previous query, this is really handy in case you have complex queries that you might want to go to. You can also use the Scratch editor or the Scratch pad. So you can figure out if you want to write a complex query, what you want to put in here. But I normally just prefer to play here. And let's say if I accidentally got the table name wrong, because I just got, and this doesn't exist. So now if I run it, it will tell you that the table name doesn't exist. So even if you're forming this, you can, as you go along, you can rebuild your query and keep executing it to debug also. So it gives you useful messages. So just to recap, in this video, we've just covered the select statements in PostgreSQL editor, and you can use these statements across different databases. The syntax doesn't change. As we go deeper into the flavor of PostgreSQL, there might be specific things which are specific to PostgreSQL. But this one is, you can use it on SQL Server, you can use it on DB2, you can use it in multiple places, even on Oracle. So it'll work anywhere. So in this video, we've covered the basic syntax of the SQL statement, how to write a SQL statement, how to select specific columns that you want in a SQL statement. So I hope you find this video useful, and thanks for watching this video. Please let me know if you would like me to take up specific topics. Cheers, bye.